What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media. Now, TTB obviously stands for Trust the Bank. Check out our podcast. Make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. And as always, no matter what topic I'm talking about, I hope that there are differing opinions. So if you have a different opinion than me, absolutely comment it down below. I want to see it. I want to talk with you. I'm not going to be aggressive, and I'm not going to be, an asshole to you in the comments. I'm just going to be straight with you and tell you my opinion. If we change each other's opinion, great stuff. If we don't change each other's opinion, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. So comment your opinions. Let me know what you think. Also, let me know what you think about this border. I made it earlier today. We'll see how it goes, if it stays, all that kind of stuff. But what we're talking about in today's video, because today is the day that you can technically franchise tag players. It's the start date. I wanted to go over the Ravens players that they had last year that they franchise tagged or got that were franchise tagged, Matthew Judon and Yannick Ngakoue. Now, I will also probably talk a little bit about Tyus Bowser, because those are the three players that are always being talked about together on Ravens Twitter that I'm seeing throughout my day on Twitter. And so I'll start off and I'll talk about Matthew Judon because he's been with the Ravens the longest. I think a lot of Ravens fans looked at Matthew Judon, especially going into last year, with hope that he would improve, because the Ravens pass rush has not been good in the last few seasons, really since they lost Terrell Suggs and Zadarius Smith. But, Matthew Judon, the Ravens fans thought could be that next guy. If you listen to Trust the Bank podcast, which has been going on a lot longer than the YouTube channel, you'd know my thoughts on Matthew Judon. But for people that don't know, I'm going to explain them. Matthew Judon is not a pass rusher. He cannot rush the quarterback and actually get consistent pressures. He is a run-stopping outside linebacker that can get coverage sacks every once in a while. He's lucky that he plays in Wink's system because he has exotic blitzes and he's able to get Matthew Judon open. But in one-on-one situations when he's lined up on the outside, he's not able to generate a pass rush. But like I brought up, he is a very good run stopper. He was a major role in the Titans playoff game when the Ravens held Derrick Henry to, 40 yards rushing. He seals that edge. He's very, very good at sealing the edge. And if anybody remembers the Eagles game, he had the final stop because he sealed that edge and he tackled, I believe it was Jalen Hurts on a read option type play. He was able to seal that edge. He made that tackle. He makes big plays in the run game. Pass game, not so much. So, I don't think that he's worth kind of pass rusher money, even though that's what he's probably going to be paid by some other team. But I don't think the Ravens should pay him pass rusher type money. However, I would absolutely love to keep Matthew Judon if they were able to get him for, run stopping outside linebacker kind of price. Don't think they'll get that. But those are my kind of quick thoughts on Matthew Judon. Now let's get into Yannick Ngakoue. Yannick Ngakoue had so much potential. He got traded to the Vikings to play alongside Danielle Hunter. He played decent. Then the Ravens obviously traded for him to be their number one pass rusher because they kind of realized that Matthew Judon wasn't really that guy that can draw double teams and, ever actually beat a double team. So they brought in Yannick to help out Matthew Judon. And Yannick also struggled. I mean, there were a couple games where I thought that he actually played pretty well, most particularly the first Titans matchup. He actually did pretty well pressuring Ryan Tannehill. But overall, he really did not have the production that I think a lot of Ravens fans were looking for out of Yannick Ngakoue. Like, he is not a run-stopping, outside linebacker or end, whatever you want to classify him as. Edge rusher. He is a pass rusher. So he deserves pass rusher money, but I think that the Ravens should probably move on from him just because he didn't bring any extra element. I did not see an increase in the pass rush when the Ravens weren't blitzing with Yannick Ngakoue on the team. Yeah, sure, it's nice to have him. Is he an upgrade over a guy like a Jalen Ferguson? Yeah, he's better than him, but how much of an upgrade? It's very small. The difference was almost negligible because overall, when you watched him play, maybe he got a couple more pressures, but he's making like 5 times the amount of money. So is that really worth it? Probably not, because we've done a couple of videos even on this YouTube channel where we've talked about where money could go, wide receivers, bringing in a new pass rusher, like a guy like a JJ Watt or Von Miller. But Von Miller, there's some stuff about an investigation that really no details have been released about. So I'm kind of hesitant to bring that up. But overall, Yannick Ngakoue is a good pass rusher, but I think he really needs that other guy right across from him. Somebody like a Danielle Hunter, who is a very, very good pass rusher. And the Ravens don't have that because right now they have Matthew Judon. Now, if the Ravens were to keep Yannick Ngakoue, I would need them to go get another pass rusher. The problem is that's a whole lot of money to be spending on two pass rushers if one of them isn't, a dominant force without the other. So if they were able to get somebody like a J.J. Watt and keep Yannick Ngakoue, sure, that's great. But I don't think that the money is worth it to keep Yannick. So, I've talked about both Judon and Yannick, and I'm like, oh, I don't think the money's worth it. I don't. I think the guy that the Ravens should really look into is Tyus Bowser. Now, is Tyus Bowser a better pass rusher than either Matthew Judon or Yannick Ngakoue? No, I do not believe he is. Is he a better, run stopper than Matthew Judon? No, he's not. He is worse. But what he does bring you is versatility. Wink Martindale loves to have exotic blitzes and strange coverage schemes in his defense. How many times this year did we have to watch Matthew Judon in coverage over the middle and just get cooked? I remember one time Wink Martindale had him matched up against Mecole Hardman against the Chiefs. Sorry, Matthew Judon, you have no chance of doing that. Whereas Tyus Bowser is a very athletic 6'5" outside linebacker. I remember when he was drafted out of Houston, I was very excited to watch him play. And he's made some big plays for the Ravens. He has had some defensive touchdowns, and he's made, remember that one-handed interception against Baker Mayfield? Matthew Judon isn't doing that. He's an athletic freak that can still develop in the pass rush game, but he is somebody that I would rather focus in on and then go outside and try and sign, a pass rusher that will command double teams, because the Ravens do not have a pass rusher that commands double teams. And of course, you have to have that guy be able to cover because of the way that the Ravens run their defense. They run so many different man blitzes where the linebackers, or even, we see Calais Campbell drop back into coverage every once in a while. Like, if you're on this Ravens defense, you have to be able to cover. Yannick Ngakoue cannot cover. He's been dropped into pass coverage situations, and it doesn't look good at all. Calais at least is big. He can swat things down. But Yannick, no. Matthew Judon, absolutely not. He has no coverage skills, doesn't have that type of freak athleticism to be able to cover all those guys. But Tyus Bowser, he does have the athleticism. He is somebody who you can play at, if you wanted to, you could throw him in at middle linebacker for a play because Patrick Queen has shown that he can also kind of rush the passer in certain blitz situations. So you could drop Bowser back in there. I think Bowser's really the way to go right here because he's not going to need as much money and he's more versatile. And that's what the Ravens need in their defense. They need a versatile edge rusher that can, one, sort of stop the run, and he can stop the run. He can seal the edge, but he's also a lot younger. And overall, I think he has more potential. And he's made more big plays. Like, I like Matthew Judon, and if the Ravens could get him for, run stopping outside linebacker money, absolutely get him. But that's not what he's going to get. He's probably going to get, in the $10 to $20 million a year range. We saw the thing where I think somebody came out with a report and he denied it, but it was something where like he wants $15 million a year. Don't pay him that. He's not worth it. Overall, I think that the best value is to go with Tyus Bowser because they'll be able to use that money that they save giving to Tyus Bowser, maybe put it towards a wide receiver. Go check out my Corey Davis video for my thoughts on that because I think they need a better receiver. Go check out the video on J.J. Watt where I talk about how important he would be to this defense because J.J. Watt is one of the most versatile defensive linemen in NFL history. Those are the type of guys the Ravens need to bring in. Versatile players so you can save some money by, not bringing back Judon and Yannick, and you could, have Tyus and bring in somebody new on the defense and then have money for maybe a wide receiver. Like, that's the perfect scenario in my opinion. But if you disagree, if you're a big believer in Yannick or possibly Matthew Judon, comment it down below. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your opinions. Hit the like button if you liked it. Daily Ravens content as always. Make sure to hit the subscribe button to see all of that. And I'll see all of you again tomorrow.